Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCT Center, and also I'm true speaker, healer, energy worker, guide, mentor, co-creator, and galactic ambassador from Pleiadians. And with me today is again lovely Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to high dimensions of being. Morgan has been called healer of healers as a way to describe unique spiritual tools she shares. Morgan is here to serve those who seek great understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have the deep desire to integrate the consciousness in their 3D world. So, hello Morgan.
Good morning.
Hello. It's
It's
very
such a joy
nice
to
to
be here. And I got a text from Jeannie. She said, please resend a new link to her jeannie.rayne54@gmail.com.
Yes, I will do it another time now. Okay, you take over and I will send in, yeah?
Okay, beautiful. It's so good to be here this day. And it's such a magnificent time in our lives on this planet at this time. It's amazing what's going on in our world and what's going on within our inner worlds too, because as our inner world shifts, our outer world shifts too. So, and I see that happening, which is fabulous. And it's spring. And that just makes me happy to be in the presence of new growth, new awareness, that impetus to reach out and full face in the sun. And I just watched I've been watching all the plant life, and it's been amazing to see what's happening in terms of you come from that wintry dead, looks like dead anyway, all the leaves are gone and everything's bare and the grass has turned brown, and it's just that opportunity again. And everybody knows that listens to this show that I am a proponent of following nature, of how's nature doing that, right? And if it's time to release and let go, do it with grace and ease, and just let it go. And then what happens is nothing ever truly is lost, which just cracks me up. It's just like, because all that, like in nature, all that falls away actually is changing in its energetic nature and becoming nutrient. But that's kind of like us when we are when we let go of things that don't belong to us anymore, that are strategies that don't work anymore, belief systems that are just total lies and we don't need them anymore. All that is great to let go of. But what you don't let go of is the lessons, right? You let go of what the impact has been on you, but you keep the lessons from everything you let go of, because that's how we learn, right? We just don't need to haul it around with us anymore, much like the trees don't need their leaves anymore. You know,
They do need, because they need nutrition. Those leaves now becomes their nutrition.
exactly. And it's just like us with things that don't work, things we need to let go of. It's the lessons is the nutrition for our souls to move forward. We don't necessarily have to carry that around. So yeah, it's so important for us to um, look at life in the way of nature, because it really does give us a clue at how to succeed at being a human here. So, and then those of us who carry other planetary signatures, we'll just say that, right? That we have other knowledge, we have more, right? And we come to this planet with all of that information, and some of it gets ignited when we're little, some of it gets ignited when we get older. It doesn't matter, it's all perfect when it gets ignited, right? So when we have that new growth within us, that new awareness within us, it's really time to look at what we need to let go of so that we can bring that forward in a very powerful way, because we're here at this time to make a significant difference on our planet and be fully who we are, authentically who we are. And that's what we've come here to do and be. So anyway,
I think get the terms who we are as well, because I'm saying this many times, and I still feel that you've been luckier than I, because you knew that it's your path. You knew what you are here to do from little age. Yeah.
yeah. I don't
And
know if I was lucky or not.
I don't know, but for me it feels like bloody hell, if I knew all this, yeah, earlier, if I knew this, I could have do maybe more. I could have get on my path early or something, yeah.
Well,
You know,
consider that you might have been on your path already. That's just part of your path. You know, my path was not a picnic. Let me tell you, being a human, I had many discourses with the creator about this thing called being a human. And I was not a happy camper about being thrust into a body again and getting to to live in the density another time. I was not a happy camper. And I asked many times when I was little, please take me back home. I think you made a mistake. Imagine me telling creator it made a mistake. But you know, that's where I was, right? Because the path that I was placed on, whether I chose that or it was chosen for me, who knows, or it was just random, you know. It was a path of really seeing sometimes the worst of humanity, and getting to witness that, right? But I think that's part of being human on the planet. We see what's the worst of humanity and what's the best of humanity. And so we get to choose how we want to operate, whether we want to be the best of humanity, or we want to participate in knowing what's not really wonderful for our nature, especially not wonderful for our own ability to ascend beyond the density. So yeah, so it's a good week, and I'm just going to check because I got a big ding here. I want to make sure.
and everybody else, please, who is at the moment watching, please come and say hello on our chat there.
Yeah, you say hi to us. And Jeannie says that it's giving the session from April 25th and it's not working. So
she actually get my email.
Okay.
Have she get my email?
I don't know, but anyway, so that's just what she says, that the link you sent her is for April 25th.
I sent her link from our now where we are. We are in our show.
Can I she needs a link for today. Can I send her my
I will resend another time because I sent from this show, so link has to be right.
Can I send her my link?
I already sent you. If it's not working, then you send yours.
Okay, let me try. So you talk now. I'll be right back.
At the moment, I'm sending another time link to her. So, guys,
okay,
please, those who are watching us, please say hello. Please ask us a question for us to know what do you want to know more, and what kind of topic do you want to discuss. Yeah. Also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, so we can reach more people. Okay, maybe let's pull some cards.
Okay, we will. I just want to get I want to just get this at gmail.com.
I resend it again.
Okay, well, I was sending mine too, so but I didn't have that new email address for her. Okay. I'm glad everybody's patient here with us. I love
I
that.
do hope everybody's patient.
Okay, I sent mine
Usually
too.
the
She sent
getting in
her,
quite
right? So, okay, so let me go grab some cards because you said you'd like to do some cards today,
yes,
and
I think today be nice to actually find out what we need to talk about.
oh, okay, hold on.
And for those who'd only first time maybe watching this show, please go back, start from very first show, which one is about 2 years ago. Every show has lessons to learn, plus on end of show there is meditation. So it's really, really great materials.
Okay. And just for everybody's information, the reason why we're trying to really get Jeannie to come on, she's got valuable information. And she's been working in the healing realm for a very long time. And yeah. So, anyway, I pulled some cards and I pulled them from this deck called Divine Nature.
Wow, beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, one of my sister friends gave it to me for my birthday this last year. Like I don't have enough cards to play with, but I love it. I love it.
I think I have about some 7 or something decks.
Yeah. Okay.
And I play very well already.
Okay. So Daga. So the intention for today that we're going to ask for guidance from these cards is, what do we need to focus on today? Is that what you'd like to do? Okay.
I think so. Yeah. What we need to discuss today.
What's for the highest and best for humanity? How about all of that? Okay.
Yes.
You want to tell me when to stop?
Stop.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm being told to choose 3 cards. So I'll choose 3 cards for where we've come from, where we're going, and what's in the present moment. So I'm going to start from where we came from. And we have this card called Own Your Own Power. Own your own power, which would indicate to me that we're learning how to own our own power, which would be awesome. Okay, so let's see what it has to say. Own your own power. Human beings are hardwired for love and belonging. We're also hardwired for struggle. When facing challenges, it's necessary to hold both of these truths in your hands. The power to withstand crisis and change comes from the indestructibleness of our soul stuff. Likewise, our heart's resiliency comes from a sense that we belong to the divine, to each other, and to our own lives. If you were not raised with this truth, let this moment catalyze the inherent truth of you. You are bigger than you know, stronger than you think, and more radiantly loved than any happy fairy tale. Use that truth to transform everything you touch. Well, isn't that just what we've been talking about, right? It's like, you know, it doesn't matter where we come from, the struggles, that's just part of it. It's kind of like, you know, nature, it struggles too. I one of the things that just makes me the happiest when I see it is, have you ever walked down the road and you're walking on concrete, but yeah, you see a little plant breaking out of it and it's burst through the concrete. It's like that impetus to go beyond the barriers, the struggles, go beyond. And if you keep persisting and you are committed to your growth and your strength, you can break through anything. You literally can. I've done it in my life, and everyone that's listening, they can do the same thing. Of course, there's the intention. Where do you want it? What do you want, right? What's your growth? So I love this. Own your own power, because that's what's inside of us. And when we come to that, those hard places in our lives, in relationships, in circumstances, in whatever we get plopped in, right? It's not about coming into a world that's already perfect and butterflies and lots of love all around, because obviously that didn't happen. But what's our purpose then? It's to remember those things in the midst of all that struggle, to remember the truth of our own power, and that we are not victims to the power struggles. We're not victims to our world. We're not victims to political and government agencies. We're not victims to that. We got a power in us and a presence in us that's alive and well, and it's just for us to tap into it. So perfect card for, like what we come from, right? We may have come from struggle. And I love that we were just talking about that, right? It's like we move and live and being in a third density world here, but it's about bringing heaven to earth. So yeah, you got any comments about this card, Dega?
No, I think it's very much like for me as well, come to actually understanding of my power, which one I still coming to understanding and still learning and still implementing. And it's interesting. So not to say more, it's quite interesting when you work with somebody and you know that this person is going deeper in meditation than I ever managed to send somebody, and doing work which one I before never even think I could be able to do it with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You just really, we're just being present for it, right? We like our, because I know sometimes some people will say, oh, you did this for me. I go, no, no, I
No.
didn't, but I helped open the pathway for that to happen. I help carve out or move aside the beliefs and the strategies that kept someone from experiencing that. And so you do the same thing, right? And you can only do that if you're present, if you're really present with this one. And the highest way to do it, of course, for me is always to be really in touch with the Holy Spirit and know that the Holy Spirit is working through me and as me, but also working through them and as them, because that's that's our highest self. And our highest self knows what's best for us. Our wrong mind, our lower ego self, no, not so much. But so own your power. And so whatever that means for our listeners today, what does that mean for you? Like, where'd you come from? What'd you experience in your life? Are you feeling powerless? Or are you feeling in power? I'd say if you overcame any of that, Yay for you. And stay in your own power, because we can overcome everything. For sure, for
And
sure.
remember that everybody actually can access me or access Morganne, and we can help you because we both taking in private clients.
Yep. Me just a little bit. I'm so busy, but yeah, for those that Spirit says for me to help, I will. I'm there. All right, so let's see what's in the present moment where we are. So we come from owning our own power. So I think that journey is about learning that, and then we move to interesting court the divine feminine. So this is the present moment. Court the divine feminine. Oh, interesting. It's just the one right after. Okay. Um, Many of us have only witnessed the feminine as a passive, pretty performer dressed up to please the patriarchy. Yet the divine feminine, as she lives in you, is equal parts power and receptivity. She is the vessel of intuition, insight, and creative wisdom. Her receptivity to all of life keeps the balance of give and take nature intact. Let her guide you to openness, sensitivity, and deep knowing. Hers is the vision that allows you to conceive the most true and beautiful version of your life. She is inviting you to stop your endless doing, striving, and achieving long enough to sense what is possible and wise for you beyond your to do list and obligations. Wow. So that's actually really profound, especially from where we come from, to own your own power. So, what is your power? Right? This kind of leads you to what that is. When we move into that divine feminine aspect of us, it's all about our power. It's all about our power to receive, not to manipulate the world into giving it to us, but the energy and the power that it takes to learn to receive. So she is the vessel. I love this part. She is the vessel of intuition, insight, and creative wisdom. So these are aspects that we are called to nurture. So check in on your intuition. How are you intuiting life, right? Are you scrambling to find out what others have to say before you make decisions? Or are you tapping in to your own deep inner knowing? That's where the power is. It's not out there, it's inside. And that's where the wisdom is, and that's where the answers are. That's where the guidance resides. So when we move on our own interior. So, but what it takes is going inside, going within, living an inner life, having a deep inner life, and at least try to make it balanced with your outer life. Some people, well, I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to pray. I go, you don't have time not to. It's like you're out of balance if you are not in connection with your inner world, with your own divine intuition, your your wisdom. A lot of times when something is occurring in my life, I'll ask Holy Spirit to guide me in ways of the wisdom. Show me the wisdom, give to me the wisdom, so that I might respond appropriately, be appropriately, for the highest and the best for everyone. So this is a beautiful, I love that, court the divine feminine. So courting it would be like giving it some attention, some good attention, right? So isn't it lovely? I don't know if anyone here has been courted before, but I've been courted a few times actually, and when you're courting something, and this is like really important, when you're courting something, you're not just giving it attention, you're giving it some sweet attention. You're giving it the best attention. When you got a sweetie out there, you're not just going to give them, oh, hey, how are you? You're going to, there's going to be a thrill and excitement that comes up in your heart and in your mind. And that kind of attention, courting it, allows it to like it. That part of you loves that, right? Oh, she's paying attention to. Oh, right. So court your divine feminine, court that intuition, pay attention to it, and give it the best of you. Don't just, I want to hook into my intuition. Court it, love it, be true to it, show it who you are, right? So I love that one. What have you got to say about this one, Daga?
No, I think we all know that we're moving to golden age, and we're moving forwards more feminine energies and intuition and so on. So obviously we need more meditation, we need ground ourselves, we need reach inwards, not outwards for gurus.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's not our power out there. That's their power.
Yay! I am extremely excited. 3, 2, 1. I'm letting her in.
Yay! Yay, Jeannie! We did it.
We have Jeannie, and Jeannie calls herself lifetime student of growth, and she continually takes classes to enhance her own knowledge base. And at the moment, she's studying family systems. So, Jeannie, how you managed to get to us? Welcome. It's only been half an hour nearly, but you managed it.
It's longer than that.
Intention.
Looking about what we're talking about today, she pulled all feminine energy to actually be able to log in.
There you go.
Great. I love it.
Yeah. So we decided to pull some cards, Jeannie, while you weren't with us. And we're right in the middle of it. So I don't know if you heard any of it, but where we came from is about own your power. So this is teaching us that no matter what situation we were created in, that we came from, that's not who we are, right? That's an outer, but to move within and use those experiences as those lessons, as not to hang on to them, but to use the lessons, right? I learned that, right? Yeah. Now I can move forward, and now I'm ready. And then the second one was court your divine feminine. And so this is again about moving within, going within, and I talked about the whole theme of the court, the divine feminine, seemed really powerful to me in terms of if you've ever been courted or courted someone, you give the best attention, you give the loving attention, you clean up for it, right? Yeah. You look good, you smell good, you act good, you do all of those, you be the best, right? So you court that divine feminine. So, and that's in the present moment of, and of course, we'll do this in a meditation. So just given any of that, have you got anything you'd like to say about the coming from your past, owning your power, and then moving into courting the divine feminine?
So this is coming up for me. When you talk about owning your past, it's I find that when people are in denial about their past and not owning it and say, "Oh no, I didn't do that, or that didn't happen," or it keeps them stuck, and there's no growth there. It's only when we own our stuff that there's real growth. that we can own our shadows parts, and that we can move beyond in a world that we never dreamed possible. I really believe, if our world is going to change for the better, it's up to each individual to own their own stuff and not be denial and not project it on the other people, but just own it. And because it's all about us. We have to own our stuff in order to change the world. Everything. If we want peace in the world, we have to begin with the peace within ourselves. So if we don't have peace within ourselves and we're angry at somebody, or it's our job to do our work around that. It's not the other person's, or it's all about us. And so it's the other person is just being a mirror of that, what's already inside of you. And so it's really important that we do our own work. If we're triggered in any way, that's a sign to do our own work.
Exactly. And when we do our own work, we get to step into this thing called own your power. Right? Because the thing that happened, or the situation that occurred, that is an outside experience, right? That affected us on the inside. So when we understand that, then we can take what happened on the outside and just use it for information or for lessons, as opposed to becoming a victim of it, saying, this is who I am, this is what happened to me, and I see that happen to people, that, they become they become the victim of their circumstance. But that's not owning your power. That's saying, this is bigger than me, this is who I am. And that's not the truth.
Right. And so just to be clear, whenever we're triggered, it's usually something from childhood. And we're not going to get it at the same level that we keep on thinking about it. We've really got to do our deep work. And that's through spiritual teachers or counselors, therapists, whatever will get you there to get to get into the early childhood stuff. You can do IFS through parts work or inner child work, or anything that will get you there, and you'll know you're there. That because you'll feel a shift in your body. And I think we can, when we're there, we can own more of our divine feminine, as well as masculine. Both have, we have to have the power of both. And that the divine feminine is just all about the healing, and caring about.
And it's your intuition. It's those. It's the aspect of you that is deep and your higher guidance that sees beyond the physical. You can see beyond the physical, but if we're not tapped into that, then we just succumb to the physical and become aligned with that, which is taking away our power.
Nice.
Anyway, well, cool. And I'm glad you're here, because you lend a beautiful perspective of bringing it back to doing the work, really doing the work, right? We don't get away from that if we don't do the work.
Right. And when I say trigger, anything that annoys us, anything like we're complaining about something, that's all about us. That's
absolutely. Absolutely. And when I'm teaching Course in Miracles, one of the things I say is our trigger is our treasure.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Absolutely.
That trigger is our treasure, because if we don't go to that trigger, we will lose the treasure. And
that's beautifully said. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the final card is embrace enthusiasm. Embrace enthusiasm. Well, I'm gonna take a look at just those words before I even open the book to look at it. Enthusiasm in Theos is God, right? That's God energy. So so I love this. It's just, and then you see, I don't know, 3 muses up there, but they're all feminine, right? They're all in that feminine body style. So let's see what the book has to say about that. Oh, these are great. These 3 women are graces. The number of graces varied in different legends, but usually there were 3. Aglaia, which is brightness, Euphrosyne, which is joyfulness, and Thalia, which is bloom. They are visiting you today. Let your heart revel in the sharing of its bright hope. Let your joyfulness dance along the spine of this moment and bloom. Bloom like you mean it, with wild abandon. Most people are breathing only a little and calling it a life. Let the 3 graces expand your lungs and life with song. Follow their enthusiasm as well as your bliss. Enthusiasm literally means to be indwelled by God, the sacred source of all life. Now is the time to unleash it and taste the sweet fruits of this wild grace.
That's beautiful.
Talk about perfect, huh?
Yeah, and as you know, spring comes and we see the blooming. It's of anything. It's going to be a reminder for us to bloom within inside of us.
Yeah. What you think about that, Daga?
It's brilliant. There is nothing to say more, I think. You just said everything.
Yep. And it just, you weren't here for the beginning conversation, but we talked.
I think we at the moment came full circle at this point. Because we started our show about talking about spring. Yeah, bloom and spring, and how changes all seasons, and how we come again to spring and bloom. And now we are finishing really with again
the same thing.
That's beautiful.
And I love this. Enthusiasm literally means to be indwelled by God. So when we are enthusiastic, right? When we're enthusiastic, we're indwelled by God. When we show enthusiasm for life, I see too many people walking around mopey and, not excited about life. And they're letting what's happening in the world affect them, right? Like that, it's like, who gives a hang about what's going on in the world? Really, really and truly. Our power does not lie in that. If we let who we are be influenced by what's happening in our world, well, you might as well dig yourself a big hole in the ground, go lay in it and cover yourself up, because you're of no value here. We are here to bring forth the living presence, the light, the love. What did it say here? The brightness, the joyfulness, and the bloom. How precious is that? Bring the brightness, bring the joyfulness, and bloom. What does she say? Bloom like you mean it. Right. What? I love that.
Yeah. It's interesting. I just lost my thought. I'm sorry. It was about when we dwell on a negative, what's happening around us, we're losing our light, and so we're adding to that lower vibration.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is we want to lift ourselves up, and knowing we have to know that there's a better way, because if we lose the sight that there is a better way to live, like we have to dream ourselves into that the way we want to be. Because if we let the negatives hover over us, and they're just dumbing us down, and we're losing our power. And so to bring the power back is to remember, who we are and why we're here on earth. And it's not to be negative and live in the darkness. It's about bringing in the light. And there's no better time in the world to do that for each one of us. Like it's again coming back to us and taking responsibility for our lives and how we're creating this life. And yeah, we can be negative, but that's just showing again that we need to do that work around that, because we need to be, once you do your work around it, you can see beyond that and know the truth that's out there.
Yep.
It's I love all old sayings, but in my country is one saying which one I completely disagreed, and this is, I will believe it when I see it. Yeah,
That's
and
a
I
saying here too.
and utterly disagreed. You have to feel it, you have to imagine it, you have to create it to see it,
Yep.
and not believe it only when you see
Right.
something.
Right. We give up our creatorship power when we say something like, well, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, it's like you're fully in the, it's not happening. It's kind of like, oh, I wish I had, or I want. It falls into those categories of aligning with it's not there, right? So when you say I want, okay, you want, but you've not stepped into the experience of having it. You know, you haven't stepped into that, so you're going to always stay in want. I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. Totally takes away our power of creatorship and our imagination. Our imagination is like one of the biggest gifts we've ever been given. And you know, in the scriptures, I love this because it says, unless you become as a little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom. What's a little kid all about? They're all about imagination. All about imagine. You know, I look at my 5-year-old granddaughter. She's got the most incredible imaginary world. She's got family. She's got children in her families. She knows how they're supposed to be cared for and what one likes and what another one doesn't like, right? And oh, I'll need to remove baby Ruthie because she's having a bad day and she might affect Caroline today. So I'm going to take baby Ruthie. You know, it's like she's built this imaginary world that's all about loving and caring and nurturing these. They may be dolls to all of us and stuffy things, but to her, they have life and personality, and they have issues that she works out for them and she helps them. You know, she's just playing out that psychodrama that we are. And I can see the kind of person that she is, which is loving and kind and wants the best for her, she calls them her kids. She wants the best for her kids, right? And she's going to make sure their environment is going to stimulate them. And anyway, so I love that, but we've lost that as adults. Most adults have lost that power of imagination. You know, and I know it's trauma that caused us to lose some of and it happens bit by bit. It doesn't usually happen all at once, but it happens bit by bit when you know, you have a great idea and someone says, oh, that's really stupid, or that will never work, you know. Then we start losing. Go ahead.
But Morgan, I think it's not only when somebody else is putting you down, but I think everything in the world at the moment is created for actually delete imagination, I could say, because have a look what kind of games kids have. Yeah, in those games is absolutely detailed, literal pictures of reality sort of thing. Yeah, they don't have to, when they play those computer games, they don't have to imagine absolutely nothing.
Right.
There is no room for imagination because they live in this world.
They live in a simulation.
Created for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like us. We live in a simulation, right?
Exactly.
Right. And and that outer simulation says, oh, you will be this. This is what you are. This is what you are not. It tells you all those things. And we put on those skins or those avatars. And we try in some ways to be what it tells us to be, right? We try, some of us try all our lives. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I think I'm here to be an ambassador for the light. I think that's what's really my path, right? So there you're stepping into what else is possible, right? So even beyond the simulation, I'm going to say that those computer games are a very weak simulation of what's possible, which is it is training those minds and those bodies to think in a certain way. But you know, it's there, right? It's all, to me, this world is a simulation of what we need to go, no, I'm not playing that part. That's not my part, right? I'm gonna sit here as enlightened, and I'm gonna love, like, think about the simulation we talked about when the COVID thing happened, right? And that's right. I'm not supposed to say that. When that C word thing happened, and people were like at me, they were like, you are telling me I was a detriment to society, because I didn't do something that everybody was doing, and it's like, my guidance says, no, don't, we don't do that. That's not where we're going with this. But in the presence of that simulation, I could have participated in that simulation by running and hiding or leaving or whatever. But I chose a different simulation. I chose a different program, and my program was called I'm going to love you anyway. I'm going to love you unconditionally. I'm going to be present here as love and light and wait for you to catch up. Now, some people might have thought I was a little wacko with that, but that's what my guidance, that inner intuition told me, because my ego self wanted to run. My ego self got scared. My ego self got, like, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong. It's like, no. So yeah, we live in simulations that are given to us for us to choose or not to choose.
So I want to mention a book, A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yeah.
It's a great example of this, of what we're talking about. When Viktor Frankl was a man who lived in a concentration camp, and thought about our minds and how we can create what we want to, even in the worst conditions.
Yep. And I think he said in that book, they can take my body, but they can't take my mind, or something like that. I know I did a terrible paraphrase of that, but it's true. So people can manipulate you around, but if you have your mind and your heart, and I'll say your right mind, right? Not the ego mind. But if you have your right mind going and you're anchored and linked into your heart, then you can overcome anything.
Absolutely.
He did. He overcame that to become a brilliant, in service to others kind of human being.
Absolutely.
So look, that was him taking his power.
Yeah.
And no matter what he was, where he was, and what his experience was, he was taking back his power, because he knew his power wasn't what he was being told, that he was not powerless. He was.
Right. So I'd like to grab a book. Can I just go grab a book, because it's coming up?
Yeah, please. Yeah, there's so many beautiful stories of people overcoming where they have come from. And I think maybe in terms of like all the video games, I think there'll be some balance brought to that too. I think we're just in that people are in that phase of they forgot who they are. So being plugged into something to give them juice and feelings, has become important. But I think that too will wane. Okay, Jeannie, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a book I've been reading, and it's fabulous. It's called Stolen Focus and Why You Can't Pay Attention. I'm trying to read it backwards.
Why you can't pay attention and how to think deeply again.
Right.
Oh,
It's one of the best books I've ever read. Like, I highly recommend it to everyone.
I'm going to write it down because I think that's a book I'd love to read.
Yeah, because we're so distracted from everything that goes on that we're letting our distractions, so we're not able to focus as much as we used to. And there's all kinds of studies done by throughout the world. This guy goes throughout the world, and goes to all the experts and asks them to tell him about the attention and focus and what they're learning. And it's like we're being dummied down by all this social media, and they're saying that if we can, it's about slowing down and really taking the time and being able to think for ourselves. Like the whole thing with social media is to have us go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and we're not concentrating. And the best thing we can do is learn how to read again, and really slow down and read and enjoy the reading process. And that is one of the best ways of learning, because all the scrolling is not helping us learn at all. It's we can't remember because we're just on to the next thing.
So I think scrolling, it serves as triggers.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
Right. So they trigger us, and we just keep going, and we just keep getting triggered, but we're not focusing on what's the trigger. We just keep going and keep getting triggered and triggered.
And then all those triggers build up in us, and then we get angry. We don't feel good afterwards at all. Like it's not fulfilling us.
Yep. Who's the author of that book, Jeannie?
Johann Hari.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah.
But it's taken away the reason why it kept on coming up is because we're talking about thinking and changing our, how do we want to live? And with all this social media and everything that's distracting us, and it's designed to take our attention away to what the programs and algorithms want us to pay attention to, rather than what we want to. And if we're going to really help change this world for the better, it's like we have to be aware of what's going on inside of us and how we want to be, and not be distracted by the outside world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, ladies, I think we need meditation.
I think this is a perfect time for that, right? I love it. Okay, dear ones. Let's get present, right? Let's get in the present moment by taking a beautiful breath in and just let it go. Let it go fully and completely, emptying your whole being. And just come into some beautiful breaths. And as we look at what the teachings that came through this day, we're going to pay attention to what's around us. So I invite everyone to, as you're just sitting, being present with yourself, and as an observer, look out into your world and see what is in your world. Who is in your world? What situations are in your world? What's surrounding you? Maybe it's family, maybe it's fear about what's happening in the world. Maybe something's going on in your life that is not good or you're not happy. Just look at it as an observer. Oh yeah, that's going on, that's going on. And as you're looking at these things, I'd like for you to evaluate how much of your energy are you giving to these things. So just pay attention to that for a moment and look at those situations you called up and ask yourself, how much energy am I giving to that? And how much energy am I giving to that? And how much energy am I giving to that? So just look at where you're letting your energy go to and get hooked into. This is good information for you because sometimes we're tired and exhausted. Well, gosh, look what where your energy's hooked. So as you realize where your energy is hooked, you can make a conscious decision, and I invite you to do that right now, to look at all that energy that you have hooked into those situations and make a decision to bring your energy back to you. And so in that, just take a look at each situation and look at the energy you got hooked and invested into that particular person or situation. And bring your energy back home. That thing will still be there, but just unhook from it. Bring your energy back. It's usually helpful to take a breath as you're doing that. And just let that energy come back into your body and notice, how does that feel to bring that part of your energy back? And then take a look at the other situation that you might have conjured up there. How much of your energy is invested in that? And ask yourself if you want to bring that energy back to you. And I suggest you try it. You can always reattach to it if you want to. But just take a moment and bring that energy back to yourself. Take a breath in and bring that energy home. And for however how many things you conjured up about what is out there that's got your energy, let's all at once just decide to bring all of our energy back home. Just bring it home. Take a breath in. And just a breath out to just relax and luxuriate into what it feels like to have all of your energy back. Not attached to anything that is going on in our world. You are fully intact, filled with your own beingness. And this is where you can begin to step into your power. Take a breath in, bringing all of yourself back. Because it doesn't matter what has gone on in the world or what has happened in your life. They cannot take your frequency. They cannot take your energy. They cannot take your mind. They cannot take your heart. That's yours. You are a sovereign, beautiful, magnificent being of light and love. Breathe that in. You are the creator of your own realm. Breathe that in. And allow that awareness of who you are to brighten you up. Fill yourself with the light of illumination of who I truly am. And then just kind of go back to, what does it feel like to have all your energy back with you? What does that feel like? And as you just continue to bring your energy back, and you just luxuriate in that, and you breathe in, and you start waking up to, I am the creator of my realm. I am filled with the light and the love and the power and the presence. And because of this, I can create. And so I invite each of you to go within your own heart of hearts. And maybe there's something there that has been lying dormant for a long time about you and who you are and why you are here. And invite each of us to just go there. Wake that up. Wake that up. And it's not about what do you do, it's about who you are. What is your frequency? How much light are you? Bring that to your awareness. Come back into your own creatorship. Ignite your imagination. Move into that enthusiasm, the indwelling of the power and the presence of God within you. Move into that. And as you do so, I invite you to look at those situations that you'd conjured up a little while ago and ask yourself, is that important for me to be hooked into and attached to? And if it is, do so from this place of enthusiasm and love and light and peace, and give it that energy. Take a breath in. And go to each of those situations or people and make a decision right now. Does that warrant my energy, my frequency? What do I want to still be attached to that? And maybe you do. Maybe there's something to give to it or be in it. And if so, do it from this place of love and light and enthusiasm, and give it that energy. And invite everyone that's listening to this to do this throughout your day. What's the energy that you're giving to the outside forces? Is it fear? Is it concern? Is it whatever it is? Take a moment and come back and come within. Just come within and cultivate that relationship. Court the relationship with yourself. Fall in love with yourself and your gifts and your talents and just who you are. Court yourself. Treat yourself with love and kindness and goodness and the very best of the best. Take a breath in. And as we have the courage to be the best of the best, as we develop the love and the light and the bliss and the connection and the intuition, we grow, we change, we become brighter and lighter and more impactful in our world. And I invite everyone to practice this week as you go about your business and you go about hearing what is going on in our world. Practice this. Come back within. Approach it from that God-centered enthusiastic, love, light, bliss place, and watch your world change. So, in love and light, we let you be this day, awakening and remembering to who you are. And so it is.
Okay. Thank you, Morganne. Is there anything else you want to say, Jimmy?
There's something coming up for me that I think I need to say. It sounds like we're coming from a place of privilege in the sense that we don't have war going on in this world. I mean, in our world, in our environment. And so it's not to deny what's going on. It's about sending it love and light and helping. That's the best we can do instead of worrying and being in fear and being in anger and being all this stuff. It's like just send it love and light. So it can. It's like sending prayers that help heal it, rather than complaining about it and fighting about it and doing all this other stuff. Like it's about taking ownership for what we can do, personally can do. And so I just wanted to name that because I felt like we were coming from a place of privilege and not bringing in the fact that there are horrible things going on in the world.
Yep.
Okay. On that note, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, you two lovely ladies, for coming here today and sharing your thoughts and your time with us. And from our hearts to yours, thank you for watching and God bless.